Yo, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be doing a farm tier list, or Stardew Valley farm tier list. We have all of these 7 selections of farms to our right. We have the beach farm, Four Corners, Wilderness, Hilltop, Forest, Riverland, and Standard. And I have a tier list pulled up on Google so we can rank everything accordingly as we go through them. I'll pretty much be talking about the pros and cons of each. And so I'll fill all this stuff out and then see you guys in a second. Okay, so our first farm is obviously the standard farm. Going over like the stuff in the house, it's pretty basic. We have like a nice little window here. We have our bed over here that you should obviously move right here if you're speedrunning. I do like how the TV's up on a thing. Pretty cool plant right here. I guess you can like move that around as you want. Very, very nice fireplace. I like the look of this a lot. It's pretty much everything you could ask for like a basic standard. So coming out into like this field part of it, it's like you have a lot of space. I don't know exactly how many tiles there is. But you do have a lot of space to do whatever you want, however you please. Obviously my first playthrough was it, and I still play on that one to this day. And it's just like a good, like, you know what you're getting. It's literally standard. You have a pond over here to get trash out of. There's nothing really, like, to be honest, interesting about it. This is pretty much like what you, if this were for real to happen, this is pretty much what you could expect. But yeah, no, I mean, it's standard is literally in the name. You know what you're getting when you when you enter it. You're like, okay, it's gonna be standard. It's gonna be something I can easily handle. Yeah, but that's pretty much like the best part about it. It kind of lacks this like kind of not personal, but like this like kind of cool custom feature, you know. And like a lot of the other farms have some feature that literally makes the name, like the beach farm is literally on a beach. The Four Corners has 4 corners. But I mean, you know, what can you say? It's literally the standard farm with standard things, so you can't. That's the best you're gonna get, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, with that, you have a lot of space for crops. If you want to have a lot of stuff over here, you can really use the space very well in the standard farm. So that's why a lot of people just go with it, because there's nothing really there's nothing really stopping you from having complete expansion. We have the standard farmer here. Honestly, I think we just gotta give it I don't think it deserves a B. I think it's A, simply for the fact that like it's literally standard. You know what you're getting when you enter the standard farm. It's very also like beginner friendly, user friendly. A lot of space. I think for that it just gets A, you know. It's pretty solid overall. Okay, moving on, we are now at the Riverland farm. One thing I really do like about the Riverland farm is the fact that like the room here is really cool. So we have these like bucket whatever looking windows. We have an anchor. We have the cool fireplace. The TV is kind of mid, but it's there. This is a cool, like, looks like a tree stump almost. We got this little boaty dude, model ship. It's a really cool. I really like the theme of the room. It definitely fits the name very well. I'm in the deck of a boat, you know, on a. There's literally a boat here, you know. So Riverland, you know, we have this big old river, I guess, over here for fishing. The cool thing about the Riverland farm is that there's like these connections between all of the different landmarks, and so like there's different pretty much islands connected by these little stumps. It's like you're on like it's almost like you're on a peninsula, kind of. It's really cool. Now for the fact, is it ideal? Not really, simply because like all of this water is actual like space you could be using to farm or to place stuff down. The only issue really mainly is space, because you have a decent amount over here, but like think about when you have when you need to put down a lot of crops. So for that, I don't think it's a great farm. I've seen a lot of cool farms with it. Personally, I don't think that it'd be like the most ideal farm. People obviously can. It's not like it's gonna detrimentally hold you back if you pick this farm, but the water and how everything is laid out with the different islands connecting is really cool. So moving over to our ranking, we have our Riverland farm. Really cool aesthetic. I don't really think it's ideal, simply because like this lack of space you have, and everything is cool how it's connected, but I think simply because there's not enough space and it's not really like beginner friendly, I think we should just put it C tier. So moving on to the forest farm, there's a pretty cool room. I think the only issue is there's like a lot of plants here. It reminds me of that. We have a cool bonsai tree here. Nice little window. I like it's really cool window actually. The floor is cool as well. There's a nice little rug there. It's alright. I give it a mid. The cool thing about the forest farm is, so like I was saying, the cool thing about the forest farm is we have this big old section over here with like dark greenish grass, and you might think that's bad because obviously you can't hold the ground here and you can't plant anything. But look at all of these stumps, dude. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 8 hardwood right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's like 16. No, dude, that's like 30 hardwood a day if you're going to the secret forest as well, dude. And also the cool thing is that all of this green, this like darker green area, is where forageables can spawn. So also with the cave that you can get either mushrooms or fruits, so you can also have forageable spawn here. But yeah, that's a really cool thing about the forest farm. Because that is there though, there's a lot of like less space. I really like the forest farm. It's really good for speedruns as well, because just the forageables, it's kind of hard to go out of your way to find them if you can't. So yeah, we can just go ahead and rank it. For the forest farm, I think we have to put it S tier because of the forageables you can get on the left side, and also the hardwood amount is actually insane. It's also just really good for speedruns if you guys are into that at all. But I mean, it is just a really cool farm. It's a really solid one if you want to do your first playthrough or even your 100th playthrough. I think it's just going to be, it's solid farm, you know what you're getting, and I think it's good for that sense. This is the Hilltop farm, I believe, and I really like this farm because of just, it's very unique. Like the room here, the house you have is really cool. I really like the fireplace. It matches the walls, the floors. This is probably my favorite room, I'd say, for like basic house. We have a little crystal here. Really, it's kind of like it reminds me of something Marlon would probably live in, so I think that's really cool. But yeah, no, it's really solid, and it's no, it definitely is my favorite room to have. You can tell immediately that it's very different because it's on a hilltop. You know, who would have thought? It's a really cool feature about the hilltop. There is a less space though, obviously, because stuff on hills is going to be covered up. It's going to be harder to get like as much crops down in a certain spot. We have a little like connector island over there, which is just cool. It's literally the stump right here. You'll have to go all the way until you have a copper axe. You'll have to go all the way around to get there. But you know, I mean, it is what it is. Obviously, it's like a tiny setback. So the cool feature about the Hilltop farm actually is that there is a quarry section over here. So you have obviously the chance of geode spawning, copper. I think with your mining level, these are upgraded. So I think silver and gold, maybe not gold, but I know silver can spawn here. It's a really cool feature. I think it's awesome how they have this. There's a lot of like muchachos coming around here, like the little wormies. I don't know why I didn't know what they were called. It's a really cool thing how you can also get the geodes here and little wormies everywhere. So yeah, that's a really cool feature. Coming to the more right side of the Hilltop farm, we have this cool little stairway section. It is a small area, but I think it's cool how it's kind of like it's almost like a little mini plateau, how it builds up. You can have like a tree farm here, which would be like actually perfect. Put a bunch of tappers down, or I don't know. You can there's a lot of customization with this one. But yeah, no, that's pretty much the Hilltop farm. It's really cool, but I like how it's different than the other ones, and it has its own little uniqueness. So for the Hilltop farm, I was probably thinking B. There is obviously a lack of space, but it's really cool. Or maybe, do you think B or A? I'm leaning more towards B. The only reason it's not higher is because just the amount of space you have, and that tiny little hiccup, which really isn't going to affect you, but it probably is going to be annoying when you're first getting started. So I think B is a good spot for it. We can obviously change it on later, but yeah, that'll be good. We are now in the wilderness farm. Let's just start with right in the house. It's pretty cool. I really do like it. This lamp is awesome, dude. I like the brick fireplace. There's cool monsters. I like the window that looks like barricaded up. Is really cool. Obviously same bed as everyone else. Got a cactus there. That seems a little bit out of place, but it's whatever. We have a shield here. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Let's just get into the rest of it. So for the wilderness farm, at first glance, it may not look too much different than like the standard farm. The main difference is that first off, there's a giant pond of water in the middle, which is not really a good thing because only the Riverland farm and beach farm are the ones that have the increased fish odds. So even though there's this giant pond, it's kind of just wasted space because no one's gonna fish for trash. Getting into the actual like practical reasons of why you should get the wilderness farm. You probably are wondering, if you don't know what's different about it. You might be wondering, literally, how is this different? Why is it called wilderness? What's the point? Really cool thing about the wilderness farm is that at night monsters will actually spawn on this farm. So you'll have slimes, you'll have I think the monsters get more difficult as your combat level goes up. I don't really like the pond of water in the middle. I think it's just kind of inconvenient. You could definitely put some barns there, some sheds, literally any other crop. But if you want simply like complete Animal Crossing type vibes, don't even consider the wilderness farm, because you're gonna have to be fighting a lot. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So for the ranking of the wilderness farm, I don't think it's necessarily good, but it's not really bad. I'm probably gonna give it C for the fact that you can obviously upgrade your combat pretty fast, but just the space is kind of limited, and there's just nothing else necessarily special for it. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good spot. Moving on to our second to last farm, we have the Four Corners farm. This has a really special place in my heart. I'll get into that later, but for the house part of it, it's a really cool house. I like the TV. It's not on the floor, which is great. I'm not a fan of this kind of wall. It looks kind of bad. We have this little painting here. We have a lamp here, which is kind of covering up this plant, so that's cool. It's kind of like the standard farm, just with kind of different aesthetic almost. So I said the four corner farm has a really special place in my heart because some of the runs I've had, is what I'm trying to say. I've had the Four Corners farm, and oh my god, they look literally. The Four Corners farm is one of the most aesthetic farms. Like, it was so beautiful. I used the Four Corners farm so much after my first standard farm run. I wanted to get into the other kinds, and I started using this, and it was just I started using this farm after the standard one, and I literally fell in love. So it's literally the farm that I main right now. Like the name suggests, the Four Corners farm literally has just 4 corners of space that you can use. That's why it's special. There's another hiccup, kind of like how on the Riverland farm, these little axes your axe needs to be copper before you can break these stumps. So instead of just being able to cross through to the other corner, you kind of have to go all the way around, which is kind of a tedious task, but it's just a small hiccup of time, so not ideal if you're speedrunning. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing really else special besides it than the fact that it has 4 corners in it, but just it's really cool how you can do something here in the middle. And then you have like animals over here, crops over here, tree farm over there, and then something else over here. I definitely recommend it if you guys are just starting out. For the Four Corners farm, I think I'm going to give it S tier. That seems a little. I'm gonna give the Four Corners farm A tier, simply because it's really cool. It's cool aesthetic. There's nothing special really about it besides the fact it has 4 corners, but like just aesthetics on it look so great when you get into the late game. It's really cool. Moving on to our final farm, we have the beach farm. For the house, it's pretty cool. I like the furniture is really nice. I liked it. Cool. We have a little palm tree looking thing there. I like how the windows are kind of close together. It makes it look like a double window. We have a book stand, which we don't really have in the other ones. The floor TV though, it doesn't really bother me whether it's floor or not. I just wish they would have kept it consistent for all of them, so I wouldn't have known that it can actually be on something, which makes it look better. We have a nice little plant here for the table. And yeah, no, I think that's for the house part. It's cool. Now for the actual farm itself, just coming from personal experience, the beach farm is not something really not something you want if you're going to be focusing on farming, unless for some odd reason you actually enjoy watering your crops. You can pick out this one, but the problem with the beach farm is that you cannot place sprinklers on the sand. So you put it on and it'll say sprinklers cannot be used on this terrain, which is kind of terrible. If you for some odd reason you enjoy hand watering your crops every morning, you can do that, but it's just so not for me. And like it's a really cool. I like how it's actual sand and not dirt, but like the sprinkler, why did they have to take that away? You have land here, so you can put sprinklers here, luckily, but that's literally like 200 blocks. And then we have more beachy stuff over here. It's a really cool farm, really. The aesthetics on it are great. We have some hardwood here. The cool thing about the Riverland and the beach farms is that you can get the fish from the beach on the beach farm, which is really cool. So you don't have to travel all the way down to the beach just to, you know, catch a pepperfish or something. But yeah, there's just like a lot of. It's a cool farm. Not ideal, really, especially once you're late game. You'll know what I mean. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for the beach farm. You guys will understand the rating I'm gonna give it. I'm sure everyone can guess it. Let's all say it together. The beach farm gets D tier. And honestly, the beach farm, it had a really cool vibe. I do like it. Just the fact that you can't put sprinklers down is literally a game breaker. I've heard so many stories of people playing on the beach farm, and then they try to put down a sprinkler once they're on like year 2, and then they're like, okay, I didn't know that, and then they're completely dead. So I just do not recommend the beach farm at all, to be honest with you guys. So, but yeah, that's gonna do it for my Stardew Valley farm tier list. So if you guys enjoyed, let me know by dropping a like. If you have any suggestions, or if you like this kind of content, drop a comment, and check out my other content too. I'll drop some links in the description for my other videos, and then I also have end screen popping up for another video if you guys want to watch it. So I think that's all I got for you guys. So see you in the next one. Peace.